We're in exactly the right space for this. So we're in the Indiegogo lounge at South by right now, and there have been so many different interesting hardware folk floating around and hardware events. And Redg, Snodgrass, is at the center of that particular world. Do you want to speak to how?
You're way too kind.
Well,
so
it's because I like you.
I'm CEO of Wearable World, and we are now the largest wearable technology media company. We do events. We have an amazing new service with some incredible editors and writers. And we have a venture fund that has a lab and everything else included in it with strategic partners. So very blessed to be where we are and to help out the community. So that's good.
Yeah, I heard that one of the Wearable World, and by the way, full disclosure, I work with Wearable World as well. So there's that. But I'm not just plugging it. I actually do think that you're really connected in an emerging space. And you just got back from Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, right?
We did, yeah.
Okay, what were some interesting things that you saw or heard of there?
So we had an event there. We had 400 people. I think the first thing that was really interesting is to know that this is Kyle.
I'm just gonna
my co-founder.
Am I photo bombing or
Yeah,
video bombing?
you're video bombing.
You're video bombing.
You're VB bombing.
This has happened to us more than once.
I think we've been on stage a few times.
I mean, it wouldn't be South by if we didn't.
Yeah.
Like
No,
usually you don't have any hair, but
it
is.
And
It is still the same.
This conversation just got weird. I'm taking control. Cool it, boys.
So some of the things that were really super amazing is one, it's how people feel about the space. It's the same environment as right before the iPhone App Store launched, where people are just excited. They can't wait to take it apart. No one really knows what's going to happen, but everyone's putting all their chips in. And
in mobile.
In wearables.
Oh, in wearables, yeah.
Yeah. And so what I will say is that the trend is that all the best and brightest and most intelligent entrepreneurs that I know now are building wearable technology and wearable startups, which in my mind says that there's a lot of promise with the industry and with the space. And so, like I said, just to be associated with so many incredible people who are focused on creating a world that is more empathetic, that is more convenient, that is more about humanity in general. Like, I've never seen a group of entrepreneurs more dedicated to doing good for humanity than I have in this space.
Well, when you said that, it made me think of two things. Scully helmets, they're here, and they've gotten so much press in wearables lately.
My boys.
It's not even funny. But the founder story, the way that was created, is totally a human interest story.
Yeah, so Marcus was riding his motorcycle and was in a violent accident and put in the hospital for quite a while. And when he woke up, he's like, why would this happen? Like, I should be able to see what's coming up behind me. There's all this amazing technology. Let's just build it. And that's what he did. And so it took, a lot of times I think good innovation is birthed through pain. And I don't think there's an entrepreneur out there that hasn't gone through that. And so with that pain comes a promise for us to innovate and change who we are as humanity. And so I'm just, like I said, I'm probably too hippie right now, but I'm proud to be a part of this movement. So.
Okay. Well, then if you're going to tell people about the couple amazing companies or amazing trends that you're seeing in wearables right now, I could speak to those a little bit, but I'd like to hear your take.
I think constant connectivity is one of the most important things. I think with the network being mature, meaning that Wi-Fi and cell tower and triangulation, we're able to use data in ways that we never thought possible. Wearable technology actually is that data capture form that allows us to take that early stage of data. So being able to pull that in, I think being able to interpret and analyze and understand big data from a contextual space is another thing that's super fascinating. I think what I've noticed is that the European companies are the ones that are actually at the forefront of innovation, which is a problem because they're so worried about how they use and leverage data. I think Americans will pass them by because we're not. So that was a trend that I've noticed. Like those two trends are kind of probably, I don't want to take up too much time. How much time do I have?
I think we're good to go.
Okay, well then I'll slow down. The other trend I think that I really like is we've taken an agile focus on software development and iteration and began to use it for hardware and hardware technology. So with the 3D printing that's coming, and it's still a long ways off, but there's promise there that we're going to be able to think up concepts, quickly build, quickly iterate them, and test them on people. I think that that's a fascinating thing. Women entrepreneurs. This space is not necessarily dominated, but I'd say it's near 50% of incredible women entrepreneurs, Tan Lee, Monisha Prakash, to name a few. I mean, there's just incredible, I think, opportunity there. And I think since wearable technology is an empathy-laden, empathy-driven product, I think that there's brilliance there, which is good news for my niece. I love that.
You know what? Something you said, it made me think. So I was at a dinner the other night with Brady Forrest, who runs an incubator called Highway 1.
Yep.
And you were talking about 3D printing as the ability to, everybody can create something.
Yeah.
One of his companies is Ringley.
Okay.
And that's not how they started, but Highway 1 is all about sort of rapid prototyping, learning how to scale it, and then Ringley came out of that, and it was just an interesting
Great founders at Ringley. I lived in it.
Support. Well, there was something that I can't even talk about that she was wearing on her body that I was like, oh.
And I just jumped the shark there. I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
Well, I can't talk about it either. Okay. Great. Hey. Question from the audience.
What's the biggest technological hurdle holding back wearables?
The biggest technological hurdle holding back wearables.
Time. Like it's time. Battery. It's a lot of different things. I mean, I think right now customer expectation is to have like an Xbox One, and we're in the Atari stages and Atari phases of this technology. So we've got huge we've got a huge desire for things to just work and be like, how does my iPhone not work, right? But all things, right? Small screen, the screen's going to be too small. We're never going to be able to leverage this or use this. Oh, the battery life doesn't work. Oh, I can never look at my mobile apps on this. These are all arguments that I heard about 5 years ago, all about mobile. We innovate. We figure those things out. I think that as adoption grows, we'll start to learn and understand how to manage battery life and what that means. And there's new cells coming out and better chips and all these things are there.
They're 3D printing batteries, or there are people like UBeam who are enabling sonic charging.
Well, I mean, our body is a battery, right? We learned that from the Matrix. I mean, eventually we're going to be taking body heat and mechanical motion in order to recharge our stuff as we move along, which is pretty damn cool, right? And so we're seeing a lot of startups that are focused on different things like that. So, but I think also like how we interact with this technology on a smaller screen is going to be is more a design challenge. So what you'll see over the next year is these things called glanceables, where you need data, you need information. You look, right now if somebody texts me or tweets me, it takes me at least 6 to 7 seconds. I'm going to pull out my phone, lift it up, open it up, look at the notification. Like what happens when all of a sudden you can take that data and move it immediately to somebody so you get it? Pretty soon when you got to wait 6 seconds. I mean, imagine if you had to wait 6 seconds for a web page, you would freak out. You get stressed out if it's not immediate. We're moving to a more immediate stage in human evolution where we need our data, we need our information now. I need to know as much as I can right the second. Oh my God, or I'm going to freak out. So that's I think that's an interesting piece or technology challenge is how do you take the small bits of data and turn it into intelligible, understanding information and knowledge.
Yeah, and if anyone is interested in being a research geek and digging up stuff about that, there's a gentleman at Qualcomm named Rob Chandok who did a lot of work on the Toke Watch. Which, it's gotten some mixed reviews as a wearable, but it has gotten really beautiful reviews as creating new modules and methods of putting together wearables. And I think Rob is amazing, and he did work around glanceability that's phenomenal.
Yeah, so you'll hear this glanceability. My glanceables is going to be coming out of that.
Glanceables.
As we're going to be talking about it. Is it talk or toke?
I call it toke, but maybe it's talk. It's
Honestly,
probably talk.
I don't know, but I like toke.
I'm a hillbilly. I was raised in deep Appalachia, so there are words that come out of my mouth.
Appalachia?
Right, okay. Well, tell me.
Deep
Appalachia.
Okay, so in
That's
Oklahoma
where I'm
would be Appalachia.
Oh.
You from the Appalachian Mountains, girl?
No.
You sure do look like it.
I'm from... I am Katniss.
No, I didn't mean that.
I'm Katniss from the Hunger Games. If you've ever seen District 12, that's where I'm from.
Oh, that's...
Anyway.
I've never seen that.
All right.
I watched it.
Okay, give me a hug. I've got to talk to that woman who's been sitting there waiting patiently. And okay, where are you headed now in South by?
I think there's a couple VC things that I'm supposed to go to. I don't really know. I just look and people point me in the right direction. I am going to stick next to Mike Butcher because he's one of the sexiest guys I've ever met in my life. there. All right.
Blowing kisses off camera. You missed that.
All right.
Be
see
glad.
you guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye.